Hey everyone, back tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at the JMA model today, the Japanese model. We've had the update for the next 3 months from the JMA. It updated a few days ago, but because I was off, I couldn't do it at the time when it updated. So we'll have a look at those charts in a moment. And then we've got changes coming up for the weekend. It's going to get a bit colder, so we'll have a look at the charts, see what's going on at the weekend as well in the video. Now, before I get on with that, I just want to talk about the advertising. There's video ads on my pages at gazwebbiz.com. If you press play on the video ad, you'll be supporting gazwebbiz.com. Thanks very much for doing that. Also got the content tab, so you can click through the links and read the articles at the website where the articles are. At the same time, you're supporting gazwebbiz.com. Thanks so much for doing that. Now, big news coming up at the weekend. I'm going to be running a competition. I'll have all the details for you at the weekend about what the prize is and how you can enter. Yeah, I've got some big developments coming up, very exciting developments. It's going to be a competition at Gazwebbiz in a few days' time, so I'm very excited about that. So we're going to start off with the JMA 3 monthly update. We're going to start with the 500 millibar height anomalies for April, first of all. What you need to know before we go on any further is that we're upside down with this. We're just there. And what the JMA Japanese model is showing for April is a trough of below average height sitting to the west of the country. That's area of low pressure, with the jet stream running around that trough, something like that. So on the coolest side of the jet, we're under a trough of low pressure. It's not a particularly good signal for April. You would expect quite a coolish, sort of unsettled month, if that is right. This is the actual sea level pressure anomaly for April, and again the idea is that low pressure is over top of the country, below average pressure in those blue colours, so an unsettled April on the cards. If the Japanese model is right, had more settled weather this March, but if that's right, looking at more unsettled conditions again moving through into April. Now go through to May, and the idea for May is very similar actually to the 500 millibar height anomaly for April. Again, we've got the blue colours over the country, trough of low pressure is there. Perhaps not quite as deep or extensive as we have it in April, but nevertheless that is an unsettled looking signal for May in terms of the 500 millibar height anomaly. Here's the sea level pressure anomaly. Again, we're in those blue colours, so once again an unsettled month is expected with below average pressure. Probably not as bad as April, probably not as unsettled, but even so, you could hardly call that a settled sort of signal for May. So that's 2 months out of the 3 that are looking unsettled. What about the third one going out to June? Let's see what it's showing for June. Not good at all, I'm afraid. We're still in the blue colours there across the country. So again, a 500 millibar heights. We've got below average heights across the country. It's an unsettled signal, and we're also starting to get some yellow appearing over Greenland. That is a hint of northern blocking beginning to set up to the north of the country. That's never a good signal in summer, because it shifts the jet stream southwards. The jet stream runs south around the northern blocking, and under the trough of low pressure it would be cool and unsettled, pretty miserable sort of June, if that's right, I'm afraid. Here's the sea level pressure anomaly for June, and we're still in those blue colours there across the country. In fact, they've expanded and extended to cover most of Europe. So, well, very poor update from the Japanese one. It's hard to know quite what to make of it, but if it's right, we're going to have 3 unsettled months for April, May and June. And I have to say June looking particularly grim there, with hints of northern blocking coming back. This is almost in line with what we saw from the Korean model, of course. I did the update before I went off for a few days on Thursday about the South Korean update. That was also going for an unsettled April and June, but a bit better in May. This is unsettled throughout, I think, although maybe not quite as bad as in May. But overall, it's a pretty grim looking signal from the Japanese model, and it's in line with the Korean as well. So it's just going to have to wait and see how it works out. These long range models are very experimental, so we can't take it too seriously, but well, not very good anomaly there for the next 3 months, to say the least. Coming back to more immediate time frame, and we've got some cooler weather, or even colder weather coming up over the weekend. Now, these are the GFS temperature and rainfall ensembles. Remember, the red line is where temperatures should be at this time of year. We're very mild at the moment. We're going to go even milder. It's going to be a warm day tomorrow with temperatures perhaps knocking 20 degrees in the southeast around London for a time, but then we're going to be seeing quite a big drop in temperatures on Thursday as a cold front comes through, and we've got a big precipitation spike there in association with that cold front. That's going to be an active cold front swinging south and east across the country. Once that's clears, it's going to introduce much cooler or even colder temperatures. We go below the red line for quite a few days over the weekend and into the start of next week. It will become a good deal colder. You'll certainly notice the difference, I think, from Wednesday to, say, Friday. Now, as we go out beyond that, we get a lot of scatter beginning to take place. We get to the very end of the month and into April. So there's no real signal there about what happens at the end of March and into April. Some of the members go very warm again. Some are really quite cold. So can't really take too much notice, I don't think, about what that ensemble is showing once we get to around the 27th or 28th of March. But certainly got a few days of cooler or cold weather coming up. This is how it happens. This is the GFS for Friday. We've got an active cold front swinging down across the country at 6 o'clock in the morning, or clearing the country actually 6 o'clock in the morning on Friday. Once that moves through, this low pressure will push through. It's got cool air associated around it. It'll take a little time for the low pressure push eastwards, but eventually that low pressure by the end of the weekend will be clearing away to the east, and we open the doors to much colder northerly winds. This could bring wintry showers to northern England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, snow showers to Scotland, particularly over high ground, but you could see some hail or snow at lower levels, and also the risk of widespread night frost virtually across the whole of the country. Now, I don't think it's going to last too long because we're going to begin a build of high pressure early next week. But that's probably going to maintain the frost. Temperatures by day should be covered a little bit in the sunshine, but by night we could well see some pretty sharp sort of frost. Here's the upper air temperature showing the cold air digging in on Friday. There's the -5 ice firm, that sort of proper wintry type air digging into the north of the country. That stays up to the north really as we go through the weekend. The -5 ice firm won't be coming southwards, so probably not much of a risk of sleet or snow for England or Wales. It's going to be something that is mainly, I think, for Scotland, Northern Ireland, possibly Northern England, although we are all a good deal colder than we have been through much of March. But the main wintry conditions will be in the north. But you'll certainly notice the difference, I think, as we get through into the weekend. Here's the E7WF finally. This chart for Friday. Again, we bring that active cold front through the country. Then we bring this cooler or colder west to northwesterly flow across the country. That'll bring wintry showers as we move through into Saturday, particularly to the north of the country. And then the low pressure will clear away to the east as we go through to Sunday. The winds, the isobars are going up to the north, well up to the north, so it's a proper northerly sort of setting in, particularly for the north of the country. It doesn't last long though. Get through to Monday the 24th, we're building that ridge of high pressure in across the country. That will keep cold air over us. By day, temperatures should start to recover a little bit, but by night, I think we will have some pretty sharp sort of frost as we go particularly towards the end of the weekend and into the start of next week. So it's certainly not the case that winter has gone. Of course, we never really had much of a winter, did we? So you can't really say winter's gone because it never really arrived. But we're going to have a bit of a snap anyway, a bit of a reminder that it's only March and we can still get significant sort of chilly nights, in particular at this time of year. Of course, this time last year it was virtually snow covered across the whole of the country, but that was a very unusual and extreme pattern. So that's it. That's today's update. Hope you found it interesting and informative. The JMA looking pretty grim for the next 3 months, particularly grim, I have to say, for June. And it looks like we're going to get a bit of a cold snap at the end of the week and into the weekend. We'll discuss that more in the 5-day forecast tomorrow, so come back for that. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Remember, the weekend I'm going to be announcing the details on that competition, so that's going to be one to keep an eye on. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.